The thumbnail is the absolute gatekeeper for any successful video on the platform. If your thumbnail flops, the best video content in the world will never get clicked. Clicks equal views, and views are the simple engine that drives all channel growth. This led me to one major question. Can AI build a truly clickable thumbnail completely end-to-end? I set out to try exactly that, ensuring the output flowed into a real creator workflow, not just die on my hard drive. First, I needed a massive, exciting video concept to test the thumbnail's visual power against. I prompted a brainstorming AI for a wild idea, channeling the high energy of YouTube's biggest creators. The AI suggested a dramatic 24-hour treasure hunt taking place inside a sprawling, massive maze. This idea was perfect because it is inherently visual and dramatically begs for an over-the-top thumbnail design. My briefing for the AI had 4 concrete elements that absolutely needed to be screaming from the image frame. Requirement 1 was a huge maze pattern, layered over a vibrant, high-contrast background color palette. Second, we demanded a human figure in the foreground displaying that classic, universally recognized shocked or surprised face. The third part required visible contestants deep inside the maze, actively doing things like climbing or searching. Finally, the image needed cash or gold coins scattered liberally to instantly communicate a major prize was on the line. These 4 visual checkpoints tell the entire dramatic story to any potential viewer at a single glance. For the actual generation, I opted for a free and readily accessible option right inside my web browser. I leveraged Adobe's Generative fill feature, which is accessible directly via the online Firefly interface. This tool lets you upload an image, select specific regions, and then generate new content only within that selection. It functions like a localized text-to-image generator that edits parts of an image instead of creating something entirely from scratch. The entire workflow started simply by uploading a plain white canvas so the AI could build everything up from zero. My very first selection targeted the area where I wanted the primary maze structure to dominate the composition. I prompted it with giant maze with concrete texture, top-down feel, slightly isometric view. Firefly presented me with 4 different options, and you can easily request 4 more if the first batch isn't quite right. Once I found one good maze background, I committed to keeping that specific iteration to build upon. Next, I focused on setting the vibe by selecting the upper sky zone to generate a dramatic backdrop. I requested something vibrant, vivid blue sky with dramatic rolling clouds and warm rim lighting across the top. With the maze and sky locked in, we had successfully established the main atmosphere and composition lines. Then came the most nerve-wracking part, generating that crucial, high-impact person right in the foreground of the frame. Since Firefly is trained on stock imagery, it has limitations and cannot generate a recognizable real person from scratch. So I provided a basic stand-in prompt. A surprised male looking intently and directly into the camera lens. Generating believable, non-creepy human faces remains one of the trickiest hurdles in most current image AIs. If you notice facial distortion, the solution is not to scrap the whole image, but to isolate the problem area and regenerate only that patch. I specifically had to select only the eyes and use a tighter prompt like sharp focused eyes looking into camera to fix the unsettling effect. Color contrast integrity is absolutely paramount for click-through rates because a faded subject gets instantly ignored by viewers. I realized my generated contestant was wearing a light blue shirt that was unfortunately fading right into the vivid blue sky we had just created. To correct this fatal flaw, I simply selected the shirt area and changed the color requirement to a high-contrast, bright green. When the generator sometimes refuses to respect a major color change, you must check the underlying generation sliders. You should crank the Preserved Content knob toward the New setting to allow the AI to deviate more from the original pixels. Simultaneously, raising the guidance strength forces the tool to adhere more rigorously to your specific text prompt instructions. With those key settings correctly tweaked, the necessary color shift finally took hold, making the foreground subject pop dramatically. Next, I populated the maze structure by selecting small regions to add the necessary contestants and treasure props. I prompted for person with flashlight in a red shirt to ensure they stood out against the gray concrete maze blocks. For variety, I generated a ladder and placed a figure near the top, scouting ahead like a true adventurer. Another figure was positioned standing firmly on a block, dramatically pointing toward a huge prize located centrally in the composition. For that prize, I completely abandoned subtlety and made sure there was a giant, bold $sign that was impossible to overlook. A fun trick for perfect placement involves drawing the shape you want, like an exclamation mark above a character's head. You then set the match shape setting from freeform to conform and the AI fills that exact drawn space with your requested element. After all this in-browser work, the generated thumbnail looked quite solid, but the reality is that some manual refinement is still required. Faces, small, awkward limbs, or specific details sometimes absolutely necessitate a quick, local edit by a human expert. For me, AI like Firefly is an incredible accelerator for backgrounds and props, saving the time of hiring a crew or staging a set. However, I wouldn't say it currently replaces the final composition judgment or the precision of a truly staged human shot. Not quite yet. Now comes the part that creators often forget. Making the thumbnail is genuinely only half of the entire battle for growth. Getting that thumbnail in front of thousands of people repeatedly, testing variations, and repurposing footage, that's the real secret. This is where dedicated workflow automation tools step in to complete the entire, scalable content loop for you. Enter Vizard, which I would use immediately after creating this AI-driven thumbnail to maximize my hours of raw footage. If you shot the hours-long maze challenge, Vizard's auto-editing viral clips feature finds all the best moments for you automatically. It pulls the highlights, the failures, and the triumphs, turning them into ready-to-post, short-form clips instantly. So while Adobe Firefly helps you craft the eye-catching visual, Vizard ensures you generate the maximum amount of promotional content from that same effort. Furthermore, instead of manually scheduling every single promotional post, Vizard's auto-schedule pushes the clips out, based on a cadence you preset. The content calendar then keeps everything visible and editable, allowing you to tweak captions or swap promotional thumbnails before launch. Essentially, the AI builds the attention magnet, and Vizard ensures you test variations and scale your distribution pipeline without needing to pull an all-nighter. Compared to other pipelines, this combination of generative power and distribution automation hits a truly powerful sweet spot. Other image tools might be limited to desktop apps or hit immediate, expensive paywalls once you need high-volume assets for testing. On the editing side, most suites demand you manually scrub hours of footage to find those key shareable micro-moments. Vizard solves that massive bottleneck by automating the edit discovery process alongside the crucial scheduling function creators neglect most often. To wrap up, is AI better than a human at creating a perfect thumbnail? The answer is that it really depends on the specific step you are on. AI excels at iterating on backgrounds and props, allowing you to test 50 different concepts in the time it takes a human to set up lighting. However, human creators still maintain the lead on final composition choices and subtle, nuanced facial expression fixes, at least for the immediate future. The absolute smartest play for any modern creator today is to embrace a deliberate hybrid approach for ultimate efficiency. Use generative AI like Firefly to rapidly build and test a huge range of bold visual ideas in minutes. Then, apply your human eye to polish the final selection and immediately pair it with a distribution engine like Vizard to guarantee it gets seen. If you want to see this entire build process laid out step by step, I've put links in the description to both the Firefly tool and a Vizard trial. Try generating a batch of thumbnails, pick your top 3 favorites, and then let Vizard find the viral moments in your long-form video footage. Setting up this combined pipeline is by far the easiest way I have found to scale your content creation without succumbing to burnout. Anyway, I want to hear your honest opinion. Would you completely trust an AI to build your thumbnail from scratch, or are you firmly team human? Let me know if you would like to see a dedicated follow-up video where I conduct a direct A/B split test between one human-made and one AI-made thumbnail. Please hit the like button if that type of data-driven analysis sounds useful to you for your own channel growth strategy. Finally, subscribe right now so you are guaranteed not to miss the official click-through and retention results when they are revealed next week. Thank you so much for tuning into this experiment, and I will catch you all in the very next video update.